Hey tea heads, this is Don from Mayleaf. I am in for a mammoth session here. As you can see, I've got a lot of cakes of tea laid out in front of me. We are launching our two new raw PuErhs, the latest in our series of Yiwu Gao Shan High Mountain Village PuErh tea from Yiwu, from the same producer that produced Nectarada all those years ago. If you don't know about this producer, there's a video where we meet this producer. I'll put a link in the description below so you can see the beautiful Gushu ancient tea tree forest where this tea comes from. So here is the latest. This is Aroma Composer. This is our fine picked PuErh. This is 2024, April 2024, Daejong variety. This is from Gao Shan village up in Yiwu. And the elevation is around, I think it's about 1,700 meters, but I can't quite recall. I'll check once we open the wrapper, look at the cover by Celine. Beautiful cover, as always. And as always, we have sourced the Huangpian version. So this is the large leaf variety, much more affordable. These are the leaves that are normally picked out and reserved mainly for the village to drink, but we've got some, and it's a lot more affordable and a remarkable tea for its price point. Morning school run. Again, I wish I could talk about all these teas in greater detail, but time is of the essence, and I don't have enough time to shoot all these videos. The Huangpian, go check it out. It continues the theme of trying to capture Yunnan life, and in this case, it is a tea farmer bringing his kids to school, the morning school run, with bags and bags of tea. But we're going to focus our attention on Aroma Composer today. I'm going to be doing a tasting of Aroma Composer, but I also want to see if I can sneak in a vertical tasting of all of the productions from this producer of the same, essentially the same tea trees across multiple years. So we started off in 2018 with Nectarada. Then in 2019, we had Shimmer Bliss Rhodi. Then we missed a year, and in 2021, we had Mist Pilgrim. Then we missed a year again, 2023, Jelly Juice Vampire, and now we've got the 2024 Aroma Composer. So we've got 5 teas that are made essentially from the same plants, same trees, across different years. And vertical tasting is a great thing to do because it, number one, shows you how the character of the estate or the tea producer in this case remains consistent, or you can find consistencies. There's going to be differences, I'm sure, but you can find an overall character. So it gives you a more comprehensive view of this particular terroir, of this particular tea forest where this tea comes from. But it also allows us to see how age affects the tea. So you can see here, I've got the, didn't break. Solid gear. You can see here, I've got the cakes and I've already taken 5 grams of each, and I can't fit it all in. So I'm gonna have to move these up, and I'll put these over here, but you probably can't see them. So we've got Nectarada, Shimmer Bliss Rhodi, Mist Pilgrim, Jelly Juice Vampire, and now we're going to open up for the first time this Aroma Composer and see what it's like. So we're going to do a full tasting of Aroma Composer, but I'm then going to try and, I don't know how to do this. I guess I'll do each stage with focusing more attention on Aroma Composer and then just seeing how they differ throughout the years. You can check out the leaves. Beautiful, fine picked, lots of buds. So this is our premium, this Yiwu Gao Shan is like our premium Yiwu production. We love this producer, always produces what I think is sort of archetypal, beautiful, fruity, drinkable, but still with enough edge to it, Yiwu teas. Yiwu tea is known to be the queen of PuErh tea, and it it has probably erroneously got a reputation for being a more feminine style PuErh, a little bit more gentle. Yes, it's a bit more gentle, but it certainly packs a punch, and it certainly has a bit of bite to it as well. Right, I want to make sure I do this properly, so I'm going to weigh out, which I don't normally do, but I will weigh out 5 grams because I want to make sure it's even between all of these. We're brewing in 100 ml Gao 1s, and as you can see, I'm just going straight from Gao 1 to cup, because if I was going to try and brew 5 teas here any other way, it would be a giant mess. Okay, so here we go. That is the final to complete the set. Now look at the color of the leaves. Can you see them? Hopefully you can in the camera above me. You can see it does progressively get darker. These two look a bit lighter, and then these two, hard to tell the difference. In fact, this looks pretty dark. So it's going to be interesting to see how the different batches have aged differently. They've all been stored in the same way. Right, we are going to move in with Aroma Composer. I've already given you the scope, although I said I would check the elevation on it. So it's 200 to 250 year old tea trees, and it's 1,250 meters. My mistake, 1,250 meters. You'd have thought that since we've sourced it 5 times, I should know. But anyway, 1,250 meters, let's dive in. Let's heat up this kettle. So as I said, the value of vertical tastings, and it's something I've been wanting to do, but I've held back because I knew that 4 is probably not quite enough. 5 is great. Now we've got a span of, 6 years, a span of 6 years to see what consistencies there are, what variations there are in terms of the taste, and also to get a feel for how the aging process is affecting these teas, since they have all been stored in the same way. It's unusual and quite difficult to get to experience these kinds of vertical tastings where you store the same tea in the same way. Some of you probably are collecting this series, and you can maybe do this yourself and see how it compares to my tasting. Obviously, one of the great things about PuErh and tea in general is that not only is every batch different, but every person who stores their tea is different in different storage conditions. So every tea is going to be slightly different. As I said, we skipped a couple of years. We taste it every year, and if we don't feel like that batch is really singing, then we don't select. So we're not tied into buying from any producer. This is the only producer I can recall that we've really bought consistently from. Most of the time we are a bit more open to other relationships. You know, we have a poly relationship with our suppliers, so we never buy. We never have any sort of guaranteed purchases at all. A lot of times that's what suppliers or farmers want. They want you to guarantee every year that you will buy from them, but we don't like to do that. Right, let me heat up this Gao 1. I'm very conscious that this video could be very, very long. So I'm gonna maybe move a little bit quicker than I normally do. Please take your time, obviously, with all of these teas. See, I didn't even bring a bowl, but luckily I've got TEAWARE all around me, so I can use this Gongda Bay as a rinse station. Right, here we go. Aroma Composer 2024, Gao Shan High Mountain Village in Yiwu. The sister to Morning School Run, which I have yet to taste. Here we go. It's just a delight. It's like it's got dried mangoes and milk, warm milk duds, you know, like chewy milk sweets, chewy milk candy. It's got honey. It's got, I was looking for the cover, it's got apricots. So the color palette and the picture so far do apply. I am picking up some green banana, which was very prevalent in the smell of the matcha. So green banana, dried mangoes, honey, milky note, warm milk duds, a little kombucha note as well. coming through, which I'm getting a lot recently with when you smell a dry leaf or a wet leaf. At the beginning, you're hit with more of the warm notes, but then afterwards, it just like the fruit and the slightly acidic notes come through, like stewed apples, spiced with a little bit of cinnamon. I'm not picking up so much of, well, there is a little bit of lily, but I guess it's going to come out more in the wet leaf. But I'm not picking so much of these incensey notes, which I did pick up on. You can see we included some incense here. But we'll see. We'll see if they pop out. It's always a bit of a gamble when you're guessing these, when you're doing these covers. Right. Got to be very careful that I don't make a giant mess here. Here we go. Smell of the wet leaf. Oh, it's warmed up. It's actually warmed up. It's become a little bit nuttier. I'm picking up marzipan. I'm picking up those milk duds have moved into like kulfi, pistachio and cardamom spice. There's a lot of spice here. Pistachio, cardamom spiced kulfi. So very milky, very spicy. Ooh. Nougat. Almond nougat. Nutty, spicy. But then as it cools down, again, like I say, always when you're doing this, and this is why it's important not to rush like I am, but always take your time, because the warm notes are going to be different to when it starts to cool down, and also your breathing style. So if you breathe quickly, you're going to pick up more of those high notes. I'm picking up those mangoes. I'm picking up a bit of that kombucha, a bit of hibiscus. Yeah, sort of bright pops. But if you breathe slowly, like that, and also if you open your mouth a little bit, I'm picking up more of the saltiness. I'm picking up the salted nougats. I'm picking up lilies. I'm picking up honeysuckle. So sweeter, more mid-tone, mid to deep tone notes. Wow, lovely. Right, check the temperature, 95 degrees, perfect. Let's brew up. I'm going to do one tasting and then I'm going to start to move on to the other ones. In fact, what I'll start to do is I'll start to warm these up while that's brewing, just so we have warm guy ones for the other leaves. Bit of an octopus here, try and do everything, made a mess, predictably, wrong size cup. Here we go, let the mess begin. By the end of this session, it's going to be chaos in front of me. But anyway, so be it. Right, here we go. Let's take this overfilled cup. Texture is thick, texture is soft, texture is oily. Yiwu in full effect. So that gentle nature that people always talk about regarding Yiwu teas is there. It's very... Is that recording? No. Are you got an issue? Are you recording? You are. Sorry, that wasn't recording. Annoying, but that's why you've always got a backup camera. Right, so that gentler nature comes through. Soft, oily, slightly hydrating, slightly plumpening. Taste is what I love about PuErh tea in general, but Yiwu especially is the build. So you get like just sort of sweet nectar, sweet dew, and then they start to build. I'm getting apricots, fresh apricots, loads and loads of fresh apricots. Honey. Creams as well. That milk dud note has moved into a very light custard, very light custardy note. Caramel, honey, still a bit of warm milk. Just, I defy anybody. People who say, oh, I don't like PuErhs, they're a bit too harsh. Taste a really good Yiwu and brew it you know, with a little bit of caution, especially if you don't like teas with a bite, and you will be rewarded with a very, very gentle but satisfying and rich brew at the same time, because you don't want gentle and dilute. Okay, so what we're going to do now is pour this away, and we're going to bring in jelly juice and see how the smell differs on this tea. You can see the leaves are quite different, darker. Ooh, extremely different. The age of just 1 year is very, very noticeable. I'm not going to do full tastings on this because, first of all, I don't think I can get that information out, get that much information out to you. It's a bit too much for my nose and my mouth to handle. So I'm going to focus on Aroma Composer, but initial snapshots are more like iron-like. Guinness, it reminds me of Guinness. But there's still the brightness. I'm going to say like Guinness combined with champagne. A Guinness Prosecco mix. Bright, sparkly, but got that rich, deep, irony quality of a Guinness, which I love. Right, in goes Miss Pilgrim. Put this to side, clean up a little bit, don't make a giant mess. Miss Pilgrim, here we go. Okay, so a similar progression here. Definitely a little bit more into the woodsy note. I am picking up incense, I'm picking up sort of temples, I'm picking up antique woods, and yes, sweet, spicy woods like incense notes, but like cinnamon, even a bit of, yeah, no, I'll say cinnamon. Cinnamon, more woodsy. This is Guinness and champagne, whatever that means. All right, it is a thing, I think. People do drink Guinness and champagne. Much darker now as we're moving into 2019. 2019. So we're a 5-year-old now here. 5-year-old Yiwu. Here we go. Oh, it's so different. So different. Oh my gosh, what's going on here? Like, I don't know how to describe that. I mean, some crazy spices going on here. It's got the woods, it's got the spice. And you can see the difference in color between these. Doesn't look that much, but the smell difference, in fact, this one looks a bit darker, but the smell difference is immense. Fudge combined with preserved lemons. So it's got citrus note, but deeper, more aged, and vanilla fudge. A little cherry note coming out, maraschino cherry coming out of this one. Much livelier, much brighter, much fruitier. A little bit of, now it's cooled down, a little bit of papaya, but dried papaya. So overall theme, fruitier moving to woodsier and spicier. And the oldest of the bunch, 2018 Nectarator. What have we got in store for Nectarator? Ooh, again, we are hit with more age, clay, plasticine. Yeah, like it's moved into the sort of, yeah, clay note. Woods, but still maintains this honeyed note. Honeyed apricots, but dried, stored in, oh, tons of honeyed apricots. Now it's cooled down. Wow. And it reminds me of the cover. We had the fruit. in the jar of nectar. I'm going to try to bring these a bit closer and hope that I don't get them wet. So I will take my time. I say that, probably will mess up completely. Right, let's try to neaten this up. Okay, let's give these a rinse and we'll see. Maybe a little taste of this one. Oh, as the tea cools, it smells different, and it also, the taste will shift as well. I'm going to pour in here, and I'm getting like a little bit more of that sandalwoody note. So there is an incense note coming through. It's very light. I predict that as this ages, it's going to pull out more of that. But still, the predominance is caramel, milk powder, and orange fruits, apricots, currently. Right, let's quickly give these a smell. Jelly juice. Oh, an oaty note coming through, like oat biscuits, candied papaya, apricot jam, but then the woods are coming through. That Guinness note is definitely still there. Irony, rich, deep, so different. 1 year makes between these two. Ah, so different. And this is the joy of buying a tea fresh, is that you can experience it as it changes. So you get to experience it throughout its ages rather than just at one age. So a lot of times people go, oh, I just want to buy age stuff. I think you're really missing out on the whole gamut of flavors that you get from the very fresh. Did I say the word gamut? Is that a word? Anyway, the whole interplay between the leaf at a very young age, fresh, all the way as the time starts to change it and the storage starts to change it. You get to experience everything. So I highly advise buying tea fresh. Wow. Incense, temples. I'm just brought into a sort of, I'm brought up into a monastery on the top of a mountain. Loads and loads of incense here. So that high mountain from the Mist Pilgrim, you can see the koala high up in the mountains, that's there, but not so much of those flowers anymore. Now it's really about the temple. And this is the thing, these covers will represent what we smelt and tasted, and the character of the tea at its fresh stage. All right, Shimmer Bliss. Huh. This is insane. Shimmer Bliss has changed so much. It's been a while since I've had Shimmer Bliss from my recollection. It has changed so much. I'm getting caraway. We had preserved lemons before. Now I'm getting lemon curd. It's got a citrusy zing to it, which was never, ever in the fresh leaf. In the fresh leaf, as you can see, it was all sugar cane. That's, the lion lying next to this sugar cane here. It's now all about the lemons and the lemon curds and the caraway, spices. Bit of roasted almond as well. So different. Okay, Nectar Raider. It continues that theme, but it is definitely more apricot. This is definitely a more citrus year than this one. Apricot, sweet apricots, honeys, apricot jams, bit of tinned peaches. Okay, I'm gonna brew these up. As I said, these are just snapshots, because I just want to get a more comprehensive or a more of an overview rather than diving too deep. Ooh, hello. Where did you go? Right. Ooh, nearly got Aroma Composer wet, but did not, I don't think. Oh no, did. See? You see? Right, here we go. We're going to brew them all up. So I have to concentrate a little bit here to try and get the timings pretty accurate. This is what I do when I'm doing my sampling. I don't have time to wait for each one. I have to brew in succession and figure each one's going to be about 5 seconds or so difference. So I've got to pour them at 5-second difference as well. And then they should all be around the same. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're getting a glimpse of how I do my tastings. 3, 4. Ow, burning myself. 5. I usually use the small guy ones though. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, there's no point in counting because I messed up. But anyway, there or thereabouts, around the same brewing time. Enough for me to do this tasting. See if I can do this way. No, nah, nah, nah. Let's put them to the side. Let's look at these leaves again, now that they've brewed in. Certainly a colour shift, as you can see. Surprisingly, Miss Pilgrim seems to be darker than Shimmer Bliss. Again, we don't know how the batch of tea is going to affect how quickly it ages or how quickly it darkens. Now, these are going to be hot teas, but I'm going to go for it. Aroma Composer. That beautiful combination of nougat and nuts and caramel with flowers and fruits, and that touch of incense, sandalwood incense, forest streams, freshness as well. This little alcove where the aroma composer is composing his or her aromas is perfect. It's like this peaceful little enclave for the aroma composer to work. I'm picking up the lilies. I'm picking up those green bananas, starchy, sweet but greener. This cover represents even what's shown in terms of the pictures, but also the color palette represents the character of this tea perfectly. Nutty, creamy, carameled, orange fruits, green bananas, a milky note to it as well. Stunner. So sweet in my mouth. The finish is dry to juicy papaya. Again, papaya apricots. Again, orange fruits. All right. Oh my God, that's hot. Here we go. We've entered the jungle. More of the woods are coming through. Again, this was in the jungle. This is still available as we speak, and so is Miss Pilgrim, by the way. So if you wanted to do a three-way tasting, you could with stock that's available. I'm picking up more of those papayas, a bit more wild, a bit more jungly, a little bit more woodsy, and the fruits are a little bit more sort of overripe and tropical. Amazing. Right, Miss Pilgrim, I'm interested in this with all those temple notes. Oh, we've entered, we've moved into, again, mountain, temple, but there is some food being cooked. Like it's got an orange zestiness, an orange cake cooked over wood-fired oven, orange cake. I'm reminded of Greece. Orange, what's it, Porto something. You know, the orange cake. But imagine that cake with lots of syrup and lots of orange, but also cooked over like traditional wood fire. So it's got that, not smoke, but it's got that woodsy note to it, that temple incensey note. Portocalopita? Don't know. Anyway, Shimmer Bliss, I'm very excited to see this with the preserved lemons. Let's see. Wow, that's shifted. I'm getting those preserved lemons. I am getting some honeyed apricots now, though. That's coming through. I'm still getting that caraway note as well. I'm getting some sponge cake. So it's there, but it's definitely different. It feels very different to these ones. It's got like a shifting citrusy, baked citrus note. I mean, this had baked oranges, but this is more preserved lemons. more Middle Eastern. We've moved from the sort of Greek islands, we've moved east into the sort of caraway soaked sponges, like Middle Eastern sponge cakes with lemons. Amazing. Very, very different. Right, finally, Nectarator. Oh, the aftertaste. It actually freshens up. It's got like a little flowery face cream note happening, which normally you'd expect from younger teas. Yeah. Deep, deep honey-soaked dried apricots. Honey, apricots, and then a lot of woods. Leather, woods. Now we're tasting the age. We're definitely tasting the age. Wow. More in the leather and the woods, just with those dry, everything's dried, everything's richer, more syrupy. Now we go directly from 2018 to 2024. The same tea trees, vastly different experiences. Caramelled, just so supple, caramelled, juicy on the tongue. I mean, an amazing experience to go through this vertical tasting. The difference is huge, but also there are some similarities. So let's talk about it. First of all, I would say that from a taste level, they're different, but the aromas were more different. So I'm picking up a theme here: honeys, apricots, orange fruits, that is running across all of them. The smells of the dry and the wet leaf was a little bit more varied. The taste is a little bit more consistent, albeit Shimmer Bliss Rhodi is a bit of an outlier. It's shifting a little bit. In terms of the difference that the age makes, it's going from brighter to deeper, from fresh fruits, fresh apricots, to dried fruits, dried apricots. It's going from more mineral to more woodsy. It's going from creamier. Oh, what a joy. It's going from creamier to more, how do I put it, more resinous. Yeah, it's going from creamier to more resinous, stickier, more resinous, creamier, more sort of soft and voluptuous. And it's also interestingly going from more, not natural, but more tastes of nature, like things you could grab, forest streams, lilies, apricots, green bananas, things like that, to more, let's say, non-food notes, or nature to more, let's say, refined and non-food notes. But as I said, there is a consistent theme here, and that's what's so joyous about this, is you can taste that apart from this one, that it is very much the same tea, albeit expressing itself differently. The orange fruits is what keeps on coming back to me. Orange fruits and honey, apricots and honey. Apricots, orange and honey. Preserved lemons and honey. Tons of apricots and honey. So there is that orange fruit note. You see it a couple of places here that we talked about it here, that is consistent. And interestingly, this one we did sort of, it was always a bit of an outlier, that one. And you know, when Shimmer Bliss first came out, it was almost like, oh, we're going to get another one. And then when it was young, I was like, yes, it's very good. I hope that it's going to shift, because it had like a sort of delightful sugarcane sweetness to it. But I was thinking, is it going to be a one-note tea as it ages? And it's definitely not. So I'm very happy to taste where Shimmer Bliss is right now. And these will continue to age, of course, and they will continue to develop. And that's the joy of this sort of fluid nature of tea, that is always going to be shifting. And I think I managed to get through that vertical tasting without too much of a mess. Check out Aroma Composer if you're interested in our premium Gao Shan Yiwu, and check out Morning School Run. From my experience, the Huang Pian will have very much a similar character to the fine picking. It's going to be a bit rougher. It's going to be a little bit more texturally watery. It's not going to have as much thickness, but you're going to get such satisfying sessions out of this tea, and it's going to be a fraction of the price. So if you're looking to dive into PuErh for the first time, you want to just sort of dip your toes in, but you want to get yourself a cake, then go for the Huang Pian. The set is here. I hope that you can do some vertical tastings if you build up enough of your own collection. That's it, tea heads. Check out our other videos, taste our teas wherever you're in the world by browsing mayleaf.com, and come visit us if you're ever in London. Other than that, I am a tea-lifted Don from Mayleaf. Thank you for being a part of the revelation of true tea. Stay away from those tea bags. Keep drinking the good stuff and spread the word, because nobody deserves bad tea. Bye.